The world is vastly changing as the fourth industrial revolution is sweeping the planet. And as Black Americans, we have to ask ourselves, what is our place in this new world? According to the data, our future looks bleak. But a shift in our mentality can change things around. And it starts with a few very simple questions. Are we producers or consumers? Will we be the drivers of this new technology or simply the users? Make no mistake, the world is changing, and whether that change is for better or worse depends on you and not somebody else. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to my bi-weekly show, Brother Please Hear Me Out, where I take time from our usual political discussions to focus on the fourth industrial revolution, artificial intelligence, automation, and the effects it'll have on the Black community. I also discuss what we can do to minimize the negative effects of AI and automation as well. So make sure you share this video with your loved ones, family, and friends. And don't forget to show your support to the channel as well. You can do so via CashApp at $tdhiphop or through joining Patreon for as little as $3 a month. Your financial contributions are deeply appreciated, and it helps to expand this critical message to the masses who otherwise will be left in the dark. The links to both Patreon and Cash App will be pinned in the comment section below, as well as in the description of this video. Now let's get into today's topic, and what I want to do is I want to read from this report called the Hamilton Project that came out March of this year, and it's titled Race and Jobs at Risk of Being Automated in the Age of C19. And we all know what that stands for. All words surrounding C19 I don't say on this channel for obvious reasons. We have to self-censor. But let's get into this report. You can download it for free on tdnewsnetwork.com. I strongly suggest you do that so that you can read this in its entirety and get a full understanding of what's actually happening out here and how it's going to affect you. So let's get into today's information, okay? Advances in artificial intelligence and automation have contributed to achievement gaps in the workplace, with employers reporting a deficit of skilled workers to meet their needs. There are labor shortages in specialized sectors such that many American businesses are currently unable to find qualified workers to fill available jobs. Automation without strategic intervention will increase the skills gap, the wage gap, and economic inequality. Black and Hispanic communities will face unique challenges in labor transitions as a result of automation. As a result of the blank, many companies plan to invest more in automation than in rehiring workers in an effort to survive the recession. Furthermore, because consumers' demand for goods and services have decreased, companies will be forced to cut costs by turning to less expensive suppliers that use fewer workers. Second, though the Trump administration seized on the confluence of the United States-China trade war and stalled international travel to make the case to manufacturers to bring their businesses back to the United States to increase American jobs, a wave of factories returning to the United States has yet to occur. Furthermore, manufacturing no longer determines the conditions of the U.S. workforce, as fewer than 1 in 10 Americans works in manufacturing compared to 1 in 4 in 1970. Companies that are choosing to expand U.S. manufacturing operations have factories that are heavily automated. Now, what I want to do very briefly is that I want to show you this tweet from this Twitter page called Humans versus Machines. And what you're looking at right in front of you right now, you're looking at an Amazon factory from 2013 compared to the Amazon factories now in 2021. And as you can see here, back in 2013, it was all us. It was people. It was humans, men and women like you and me. Now, by 2021, these Amazon factories are automated. There are very few people working in these factories compared to how many were working there a decade ago. The caption here reads, number of robots in Amazon's warehouse. 2013, there was 1,000. 2014, 15,000. 2015, 30,000. 2016, 45,000. 2017, 100,000. 2019, 200,000. And in 2021, Lord knows how many more robots have taken over the Amazon warehouses. This isn't just about Amazon. This is about all factory work and all warehouse work, all manufacturing work, and this is going on all over the world. So I just wanted to show you this video quickly that's at the bottom so that you can get a visual understanding of what's happening out here. Now let's get back into the report. The fourth and current industrial revolution entails the automation of job functions and the use of artificial intelligence. A study by the McKinsey Global Institute estimated that accelerated automation could raise productivity growth significantly and can replace half of today's work activities by 2055. While automation is taking the place of some occupations, offshoring has forced employment declines in other occupations. Employment in middle-skilled occupations, those that require specialization in routine labor tasks, has declined significantly in the United States in the past 30 years due to automation and offshoring. Middle-skilled occupations typically consist of blue-collar manufacturing jobs associated with assembly and machine operation, and white-collar occupations that involve routine office and administrative duties such as bookkeepers, cashiers, and telephone operators. In both cases, these occupations focus on the execution of a daily routine that can be easily broken down into a set of smaller tasks that a computer could be programmed to complete. Black and Hispanic workers account for 13 and 18% of the U.S. labor force, but are overrepresented in jobs with a high risk of being eliminated or significantly changed by automation. Black workers are overrepresented in 11 of the 30 jobs that employ the most Americans and are at high risk of being automated. Automation has become one way to reduce transmission and protect employees and customers from highly contagious disease. According to a recent data brief from the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies, relative to white workers, Black workers are more than 1.5 times more likely to be cashiers, cooks, food preparation and service workers, production workers, laborers, and material movers. They are also more than 3 times more likely to be security guards, bus drivers, and taxi drivers or chauffeurs, all of which are jobs at high risk for automation in the future. Now, what you got to ask yourself is, are you working any of these kind of jobs right now? Do you know anybody in your family or in your friend circle who are working these kind of jobs right now? Because if you are at an extremely high risk of automation displacing you within the next 2 decades. And you don't want that to happen. And you don't want to be caught off guard. Now, what I want to do real quick is I want to read off a little bit of data from Table 1 called the subset of 30 jobs with the highest automation risk scores that employ the highest number of U.S. workers. Now, if you find that you fall into any of these categories that I'm getting ready to read off to you, you have some serious planning to do to figure out your next move, because automation is coming for your job if it has not come already. And these categories consist of cashiers, retail salespersons, secretaries and administrative assistants, laborers and freight, stock and material movers, construction laborers, waiters, waitresses, cooks, accountants and auditors, office clerks, receptionists and information clerks, sales representatives, wholesale and manufacturing, grounds maintenance workers, production workers, real estate brokers and sales agents, food production workers, bookkeeping, accounting, and auditing clerks, miscellaneous agricultural workers, inspectors, testers, sorters, samplers, and weighers, taxi drivers and chauffeurs, property, real estate, and community association managers, insurance sales agents, industrial truck and tractor operators, billing and posting clerks, paralegals and legal assistants, couriers and messengers, operating engineers and other construction equipment operators, combined food preparation and serving workers, including fast food, first-line supervisors of housekeeping and janitorial workers, dining room and cafeteria attendants and bartender helpers, host and hostesses, restaurant, lounge, and coffee shop. Do you fall into any of these categories? I'm willing to bet that the majority of you who are listening to this right now do. So you have to ask yourself, what's the next step? What's the next move? And what I'm going to submit to you is that your next step and that your next move is to get your tech skills up to par so that you will be able to properly compete and the new job market that is emerging, to which if you don't have your tech skills up to par, you're going to be completely left behind. And I know when I say get your tech skills up to par, that's very vague, because getting your tech skills up to par can mean literally anything. There are hundreds, if not possibly thousands of jobs that you can work in the field of tech, right? And that's only going to keep expanding. But at that point, it's up to you to figure that out. Okay, it's up to you to figure out your place in this new world. All I can do is give you the information and tell you how it's going to affect you. From that point on, you got to get your brain together to figure out what's the next move for you. Now, what I want to do is read this last paragraph off, because there are new jobs on the horizon. But the question is, will you be in the proper position to be able to capture those jobs? Okay, that's the real question. So let me read this off to you right now. The fear of job losses have led to protectionist measures against automation. But if these jobs were automated, workers would be upskilled to perform higher skilled and better paying jobs. In an industry report titled The Future of Jobs Report, the World Economic Forum estimates that globally 75 million jobs may be displaced by a shift in the division of labor between humans and machines, while 133 million new roles may emerge that are more adapted to the new division of labor between humans, machines, and algorithms. Thus, technological innovation will likely result in more job growth, but training and upskilling will be necessary to ensure workers are prepared for these new opportunities. Now, are you going to be prepared for these new opportunities, or are you going to get left behind pretending like nobody told you this information? Because that's the purpose of this show. You can't say nobody ever told you. You can't say nobody ever warned you. Because I'm telling you now, and I'm warning you now. And with that being said, any and everything that happens from this point forward is on you. Because you have the information. It's right here in front of you. I read some of it off to you. I told you where you can find this report at. And Google is your friend. So it's up to you, and it's up to us to figure it out so that we aren't left behind. Or at bare minimum, at least so that you're not left behind. And with all that being said, that does it for today's video. Thank you for your time. Hopefully today's episode was informative and got you to think a little bit about what's to come moving forward, to be able to take advantage of the possible new opportunities that are going to be ahead of us. And with all that being said, I want to thank you for tuning into today's video. Hopefully this was very informative and you found it helpful. If you did, like I said, please make sure you share this information with your family and friends, because this is the type of information, like I said in the beginning of the video, that typically goes over the heads of our people. We are almost always last and late to the party. And this time around, with the fourth industrial revolution upon us, we cannot afford to be last or late to the party. Now, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. All social media links will be pinned in the comment section below as well as in the description of this video. Make sure you text tdhiphop to number 33222. That's tdhiphop to number 33222. That way you can get a direct text message whenever I release a new video, but it also serves as a protection plan for myself in case YouTube ever gives this channel the axe. I'll be able to send you a direct link to where you can find me next. And last but certainly not least, for those of you who have a love and appreciation for the work that I put in on this channel, the number one way you can show your support is through Patreon for only $3 a month. That will help put me in position to be able to take TD Hip Hop Media off of YouTube. Remember, the goal is not to grow big on YouTube, but to grow independent of YouTube. And you could also assist on CashApp as well. Thank you for your time, and until the next video, peace.